here behind me we have the i30 Fastback N time attack entry. This is in Club Sprint. You saw our one last year. It was our own personal car that we modified and competed last year with Jordan Cox driving. Now this one they've stepped it up a notch and this is an OEM factory supported car. Again, this was another one that was a pre-production car that isn't allowed to be street registered, so they turned it into something very useful. I mean, first off, now that the hood's up, like look at this. This is one of the N option hoods. This will be a production piece available, but look, forged carbon on one side and carbon weave on the other. Engine wise, it's a stock engine with I believe an upgraded turbo. We will track down Jeff, the guy that built the car. He's over there in an interview at the moment. We'll have a chat to him, but even got the stock airbox, everything like that. We got the stock ECU that has been tuned slightly to compensate for the bigger turbo, intercooler, radiator, slightly different packages there to keep on top of the cooling situation. But aside from that, this thing is pretty much a production car. Inside the car, it's still fairly factory in there, other than the fact that it's been stripped out. Still got the full dashboard, door trims, everything like that. In the back here, we've got a very nice cage. Now check that out. Look at the wing on that. And the outside though, it's got like this swan neck thing. Now this is primarily done like this because of the Club Sprint category. It says that it can't protrude past the rear of the car. And the Fastback actually has a bit of an advantage over our hatchback. We weren't allowed to do a wing like this because obviously it would be too high because our hatchback ended here and the roof line was too high. But this has actually given it a bit of an advantage to be able to run that much aero on the back. Probably needs a bit more power so that it can drag that thing through the air, because that's a lot of aero.
See something no one else has seen? We're taking the front wheel off. You can see my special struts.
Alrighty.
So,
and
the coilover conversion. So have a look at that.
Will do. We will talk to Jeff in a second, but we've been told to check this out. Now these are modified factory struts that basically it's like a coilover still using the factory damper, so you don't lose all of your electronic damping. Now there's some trick brakes as well. How cool is that? Now this is obviously all prototype stuff. This way we're able to keep the factory damper because they're magnetic dampers, and that's one thing that's missing in my car when we put coilovers in it. You lost the factory magnetic damping, so it actually makes it obviously a little bit more uncomfortable to drive, and you can't compensate for track undulations or anything like that. So if the track conditions change, we don't have the luxury of that in our one. So this is the ultimate solution, and something that I'd love to do on ours eventually. It's absolutely incredible and encouraging to see OEM manufacturers coming to the party and contributing something. Like, this is the first time an OEM has come in and created their own factory supported team. Now once Jeff's finished down there, I'm going to corner him and then he can give you the rundown on this and tell you all the technical specs that I can't give you at this second. Alright, so I managed to track down Jeff, mate. I know you're a busy man, but
sorry about that.
Can you give us a rundown about this? This is an incredible machine.
Yep,
it looks probably better than my one does, so I'm a bit jealous.
Look, you set the standard last year and I thought I'm going to top him.
And you did that. So tell us what this car is, where it started and what you've done.
Yep, so what we've got is the i30 Fastback N. Started our pre-production car, actually it was our test car. This was the first fastback right-hand drive into Australia. We did about 5,000 to 6,000 k's of abuse, and then we thought we better build it or crush it, one or the other, so decided to build it. So what we've done is contacted Korea and I said, look, we're running time attack. What we'd like is a tune, but we don't want to use an aftermarket tune. They had a look at what we were doing here, and this was probably about 3 months ago. They said, not a problem. They've sent out 3 engineers to tune it for us. So they're looking at everything on the engine. They don't want anything to go wrong. They want a production type engine tune that you could go do the 24-hour race.
So could that stand to reason that on a new iteration of this car, maybe end up with this tune eventually?
Well, everything we're doing, everything we drive, data's taken back to Korea. So they've given us a prototype turbo, a prototype intercooler that they're already testing for maybe a future car. Could be the next model. It could be in something else, but it is being tested for use. It's a production part in test. So it's,
Cool. All right, so what do we got here?
All right, so all that's been changed on the car is the turbo, slightly bigger proto.
Unopened engine.
Unopened. This is the test engine. We haven't taken the covers off the engine at all. So all production, standard long motor, all the accessories. We've added an oil pressure sensor just for logging. So if you see anything, that's the only part on the engine that's not a production part, just for pressure. Intercooler radiator, so it's a prototype intercooler. It's about 15% bigger. radiator and all the rest, all the same. Engine bay, otherwise, standard battery, because we actually got the minimum weight without trying to lighten it up. Standard airbox, standard air filter, production. We went to a slightly different clutch just for a bit of durability because we're abusing it. So standard clutch is designed for smooth takeoff at lights and abuse. We wanted nothing but abuse. So the engine with the new tune developed about 50 horsepower more. So what we did was took it to a chassis dyno in Australia to have a quick look. We put a production N on at the tyres on that particular dyno on that particular day with temperatures, because every dyno reads different, so don't look at numbers, look at changes. It made 218 horsepower at the tyres. We did 3 runs, every one at 218.
That sounds good.
That's one way of getting attention away from the end. So yeah.
It needs about $2 million to do it.
That's it. So again, value for money. About the same colour. About 218 standard. Yep. Then we strapped this one down, made 268, same dyno, same day, 20 minutes later. So it's 50 horsepower straight off the bat.
And that's super safe.
Super safe. They said try it in the 24-hour race today. Not a problem. You would have got a sneak preview while we had a wheel off a minute ago. So struts, production struts. They've got the original ECS still the Australian tune. All I did was cut the spring seat off and converted it to a coilover, because with the aero, which we'll talk about in a minute, we're going to have more downforce. I had to have a spring to hold it up. But I didn't want to lose the light touch, so we've gone to a tapered progressive spring, which means the wire at the top is thin and it gets thicker as it gets down. So as you start to compress, it's a soft spring, and then as it's crushed up, you get to a firmer. So as you lean in, it'll actually hold the car. So it's like adding a sway bar, but the moment you lean off, you've got a soft spring again.
What about ride height?
The height?
Ride height, yeah.
Factory
ride height.
Factory ride height.
Okay.
The rear springs, we actually had to lower it because we took so much weight out of the car when we built it. It lifted 25 mil. So we lowered it 25 back to factory ride height.
And you mentioned the turbo.
That's, So it's bolt on. Have a look. There's nothing to see other than looking production, because it's a prototype production part.
And all you've got.
So we're looking at turbo speed again, because we're checking everything. That's just a turbo tacho. It's got a sensor on the turbo counting the blades, and then this converts it to digital to what we need up to our dash. Down through here we've got a bit of aero. When I say a bit, a lot. So you can't have a time attack car without aero. So you wouldn't look the part. So what we did was got onto DAS. And Sammy gave us a hand and developed the front splitter and the rear wing. So the under tray, you'll see it's to the regs, which is it can come out 100 mil. It's got to sit minimum 80 mil off the ground. Because we're running standard height and we didn't want to drop this all the way down, we've added these side plates which actually add more downforce. So ideally you want to run this around 40 or 50 mil, we've got to be at 80. So by adding these, it actually gives us a downforce. It goes all the way to the centre of the axle, and the reg is you can't go past centre of the axle. So this is straight out to the centre. It's not a flat body underneath, so hopefully you got a shot under there and you'll see we've got the deflectors. It's properly designed. For safety's sake, we've gone to a 6-pot brake, slightly bigger disc, and it's all about safety, because we didn't get to test this car with this aero with the conventional brakes. And it's not the sort of thing you want to run the gauntlet on without testing, so we thought, well, we better step in, and we got those made up instead. Wheels, factory 19x8. This is the first spec Oz that we're looking at here. What we had on yesterday with the other set of tyres, which have got the option wheels, the new spec of these Oz race. So slightly lighter. These are 9.2 kilograms. The ones we were running yesterday, which would be around here somewhere at 8.8 kilograms.
I think they stole my wheels. I think they're my old wheels.
Believe it or not, these were on your car. So yes, don't tell anybody. Through to the back, wing, can't miss it.
I didn't notice it before.
Yeah, just watch your shoulders on it. So this will generate on full tilt. We're on soft there at the minute. At full tilt, she'll pull about 450 kilograms of downforce. The reason we needed so much wing, the front will actually suck 300 odd kilograms of down. So with that much more front, we had to add rear to stabilise the car. So we've dialed this back from about 450, so it's probably, hopefully, around the 300 kilo down. Because of that, the concern was if we bolt it to the hatch, it'll blow the glass. So when you look in here, you'll see it comes off the floor pan, bolted to the floor, all the way up to the gate. It's actually welded to the tailgate, and then the outside parts are bolted to that plate. So if you need to remove the wing or open the hatch, bolts off the floor, hatch gate off. The whole lot comes off in one.
So no shopping?
Not in this puppy. That was the seat you borrowed last year. That is the actual seat from your car. So yeah, I made up a new bracket and made it a sliding adjustable seat this year, so make it a bit better for us, because Timmy's a little bit shorter than me and I want to drive this thing, so I made sure it fits both of us. So we've got a bit of everything there, running laps. We look at oil pressures and engine temps and all sorts of things there. It also has into-air turbo speeds and quite a lot of more data that sits in the background. But you see all the instrumentation, all original. This is the Project C Alcantara factory steering wheel. So we're lucky enough to get that out of Korea as well. Project C.
When's the Project C coming out?
It's not coming to Australia, unfortunately.
Oh, not at all. 600
right-hand drive cars all going into Europe. We're not getting it. But parts.
Maybe with them out here looking at how enthusiastic people are, they might change their mind.
Yes.
So everyone needs to comment on this video and tell Korea to bring it here.
Bring it. We want this. I want this car. All right, so that's our i30 Fastback N. As you can see, it's probably, I'd estimate, probably about 90% production. There's a few parts we've done for safety. The rest is production or prototype production. And the idea was we wanted to develop a car in-house, buy in-house, so in-house parts, in-house people. The team were all Hyundai boys, and showcase what a production car, a backyard person could build this, except for the tune, sorry. Backyard boys could build this themselves, do what we're doing. We didn't try and get a pro or near pro, because we've got to run an amateur driver. We then went, okay, we want in-house test driver. So Tim Rogers is our test driver for our suspension tuning team here in Australia. So he does hours, kilometres of driving for us already. Throw him in the car. Never raced before, he got his CAMS licence, came to Eastern Creek on Wednesday this week to learn the track and learn the aero. So we're not out to win this event, but show what this car can do in the hands of a normal person.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers, thank you very much.
See you out there, and next year, what are you going to
Thank
step
you.
it up a bit?
Yeah, well, see what you bring out and we're going to top it again.